What was another hot topic, Natalie, that had the people in these comments?
Well, we discussed Jonathan Majors, and we talk about him a lot on this show in general. And so there was some news that came down over the weekend about him being arrested for a domestic violence incident. And so we discussed it. Michael and I discussed it. And
Mm.
you know, there's always this point, where people are saying like the problem is no one is talking about this, has seen the evidence. People want to err on the accuser while the accused Majors is getting real damage to his career without being convicted and before the public have seen convincing evidence. And before I get into the second comment, I just wanted to address that quickly because this is something people always do, and rightfully so, right? In this country, you're innocent till proven guilty. But a point that I made on the show that day, and there has been some other stuff that's come out since Monday, is that we tried to separate what is fact and what we know from just like what are reports. And what we did know is that a woman went to the hospital for injuries that she sustained. We knew that. And we know that his side denied it. And they said that they would offer proof showing us that. Now, since that time, the Manhattan DA has charged Jonathan Majors. He's been actually charged. And also there were some text messages released that I would say don't actually help him, but that's what he put out. So they said there'd be a video, there would be some other things. We haven't seen that yet, but he is charged. And as of right now, they are proceeding. And so to also address that comment, if we could go back to the comments, people are wondering why people often jump on the side of the person who's accusing, the victim. And that's what I'm going to call them. And I opened up to talk about the victim side of this because I've experienced domestic violence in a relationship before. And the reason why myself and others say believe victims is because it's not so easy as people think. People think, oh, these women, they just want money. They're just trying to get something. They think it's so easy to come out and make a false claim about this. And like my family, my immediate family doesn't even know that I was in an abusive relationship. And there were things about that relationship my best friend only found out like within the last couple of years. So it's not an easy thing to do. And when people do come out often, we're not believed. So that's why we say believe victims. It's not a common occurrence as people think. I understand that Black men have been harmed by women making false accusations about them, particularly women of the other race. But we cannot just continue to say, oh, we're just not going to believe victims because we know Black men can be harmed. We also don't know the race of this victim. So I was just trying to provide that victim's perspective.
Yeah, as I said to you when you brought it up, I'm glad that you shared that. Just like Michael, I'm glad that you shared the story about your children and your view on therapy. This is all relevant. This is all helpful to us. I would say this though, that first commenter, talking about essentially what you said, Natalie, innocent until proven guilty. Sure, but that doesn't mean passively addressing the story. So you can do that. You can say nothing has been proven,
Exactly.
but you still have to provide context. So,
Yep.
oh well, what if she's making it up? Okay, you asked that question. I need to give you some information about the patterns and the statistics and how generally this is not made up. Sometimes it is, but most of the time it's not made up. It
No,
is very common.
it's
You got to
very
tell.
rare. False
That's what I'm
accusations are
saying.
very rare. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
So it
yeah.
rarely is somebody making it up, and it is common for someone who is a victim. I'll use your term, Natalie. I think it's appropriate. It's common for a victim to say this happened and then to recant.
Yes.
That
Right.
is
And say
common.
it was their fault.
That's the
Very
common. That's the common track. And so
Yeah.
don't we got to get beyond this. Just because somebody is innocent until proven guilty doesn't mean you ignore all the information. You don't have to put your brain can come along with you. You don't have to put that aside when we're talking about these situations
Yeah, and
Well,
I just
I'll
thought
just,
there
or
I'll
was
your
just,
a
oh, sorry.
experience
I'm sorry, no, I
or
just
common
the one
sense.
last thing I want to say, I just thought it was a really great point that one of the commenters made when she said like just because like white men or other people have gotten away with certain things in the past or
Yeah.
the way that they're treated doesn't mean as a community we
Yeah.
have to say we want the Black men to be treated the same. Like if a woman is harmed of any race
Right.
and she's harmed by
Right.
at the hands of a man, we should want to hold that person accountable, no matter what, as beloved as Jonathan Majors is in our community. And time will tell what the truth is there.
My grandfather was a preacher, so I know better than to preach after somebody's given the word. Thank you, Natalie. All I will add, though, is that a lot of people, Michael, they say innocent until proven guilty. They're not saying it from a place of neutrality. They're saying it, the implied in that is that she's lying. And so it becomes a defense mechanism. And so every time there's a sexual assault or domestic violence incident involving an athlete or a celebrity, we do a great job of telling on ourselves, because the conversation inevitably becomes topic and it exposes all of us and how far we have to go when it comes to just discussing this with the nuance, sensitivity, and sensibility that it requires. Thank you, Natalie. Appreciate you. We'll see more from you later on.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.